Good afternoon, and I'm going to go ahead and call the Health Committee to order here, and I'd like to welcome you all. Beautiful day, all the fog cleared off, and we can all see clearly now, so we might as well get started. Let's all stand.
Här orgelande här gäller sahan des no nämna helde då hästa han då vill nästan här oswa filom hästa organ så att då kan hästa när då kan hästa distekti negada ajalegi skadu nundan. Father, we just thank you for this beautiful day and the wonderful rain that you have sent us yesterday. Lord, we just thank you for all your blessings. We ask you to be with us and guide us and hold us steadfast when the tempest come. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen.
John Crittenden. Here. Linda O'Leary.
Present.
Joe Anglin. John Baker. Here. Jack Baker. Audrey Carter. Meredith Fraley. Chuck Hoskins.
Here.
Heather Key. John Keener. Jessica Martin. Melanie Shophouse.
Honey.
David Thornton.
Present.
Erica Watts. Phyllis Sharp.
Honey.
Next board.
That's one. Next on the agenda is the September 12th minutes. We need approval for that. Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Minutes approved. Moving on to reports. First up is the Claremore County Sheriff, Jim Dublin. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. As far as you have the packet on services, I started out with the flu vaccine, and it was made available on October the 5th. The flu shot room is open from 8 a.m. to 4, and we initially received 12% of our requested amount of doses, and then we'll receive 17% during the week of the 23rd, and then the remainder of our order by the end of November. So it's going to be tight on giving out of the vaccine until we have the full order in November. So we established the following priorities for the distribution of the vaccine. And priority one will be the patients who received our flu shot letter, which focuses upon our high-risk patients 65 years of age and older. Priority two is our children patients, ages 6 months. I have 2 years, but Dr. Mobley said it's 56 months. The priority three is our inpatients. We installed a bone DEXA scanner, which is a machine that will allow us to perform bone density studies. It was provided to us through the area office. It does take, we had to make space for the unit, and it's in our radiology department, and we had training on the equipment for our staff provided by the vendor, and we also invited the radiology staff on in the local service units to attend the training. We have to establish our policies and procedures on the unit, and so we don't fully know when we're going to have it fully implemented yet. We have selected David Ponder as our supervisory IT specialist, who will be directing the operations of our IT department, and then we still have one IT position that we will be filling as soon as we can get a certification of our eligible candidates. You can see that the workload activities, inpatient 39%, observation 2%, day surgery 9%, total 50%, and the comparative rates for 2003, 4, and 5.
Jim?
Yes.
You back up that middle of the page, you're talking about that meters.
Yeah.
Most of that, as far as commercials and stuff on TV, deals with bone loss or whatever with
Osteoporosis.
Yeah, with females. How much different is? I mean, I know the males as we age, we probably have some of the same types of, do we have whole loss like anything close to what the lady said?
I'll ask Dr. Grimm to answer that question.
You have a little bit, but not anywhere close to what women have. Women start decreasing because of estrogen starts going down in the body. So men don't have to get routine screenings like women do. Usually we don't screen men unless there's a lot of risk factors and family history of osteoporosis in men. Who had a fracture, fall on a broken hip, or fall on a broken wrist, and then see my words. Then we do both screenings, but for routine screenings, we don't.
I just seen something the other day, a little report on TV about men, you know, it mentioned that type of thing, and I was kind of surprised. I hadn't realized that was a problem, you know. Okay, thank you.
Our third-party collections, this particular report shows September, which is the closeout of our fiscal year. We closed out our collections at $11.7 million, which is for our facility was a high. We are on our CHS activities. It continues to be an area where there are denials and unmet needs and the rationing of care. And until we get additional resources, it will be that way. And I know that you, as a committee, have pushed for that, and that hopefully in the budget formulation process, we will get additional resources to meet those needs. We closed our books, zeroed out our books that we finished the year in the black. You can see the community activities. We're holding childbirth classes each Tuesday night, and the new parents are receiving that well, and we're having more of them delivering in our facility. Over in the bullet points, just want to let you know that the Northeastern Intertribal Health System, the Miami Clinic, has had its contract health care delivery system changed, and this became effective September the 1st. And this drum tells about where the services were provided before, and two, they will be providing contract health care services for resources for inpatient and outpatient services for Indian residents of Ottawa County. There's no change in funding as a result of this area change. And so in essence, we will assume the Cherokee, under our happening, the Claremore Service Unit, CHISDA, will provide health care service resources for those Indian residents in Craig County and the following towns in Craig County: Blue Jacket, Centralia, Bonita, Welch, Bernice, South Coffeyville, and White Oak. On the national scene, we're under a continuing resolution until September the 17th. So that means that we're on the same. We function at the same level as the funding level of 06. Plus, we don't start any new projects, and there is other host of requirements. On the Service Unit Weekly Narrative Report that I've included, this is something that I send on a weekly basis to the area office, and I decided I wanted to go ahead and share this with you because this basically was what happened as of September, and our EHR efforts are going well. We have a housekeeping project that has encountered a major project problem, and that is the design of the loading dock needs refining. So we'll be meeting on that. And I anticipate that there will be that FY07 is going to be an austere year for us, and so we're going to monitor our budget very closely and on a quarterly basis. so that we ensure that we stay within our budget. And with all the initiatives that have been mandated to us, we have to do this because in some cases it takes additional staff, and so you're robbing Peter to pay Paul and managing your full-time employees and your ceiling list. The charge master, which enables us to manage our EHR, our collections better, manage our charges. The contractor came out today and will be with us through the 19th to train our staff on the charge management of the charge tickets. This is a very successful program, and Ed McLemore has proven that and has blazed the trail in that regard. We're doing the same, and as well as the other hospital in the area, Lawton Indian Hospital. Waiting for the site visit report from Captain Holder on CHS so that we can better manage the program, CHS program. On our radiology room, our second room that we want to go digital to, we're trying to work up a lease to cover that equipment. And the exclusive jurisdiction, the jurisdictional issue, still being pursued, and hopefully that will be tagged on to a piece of legislation. I think they're looking at the Indian Healthcare Improvement Act, or an appropriate piece of legislation once Congress gets back into session. Under noteworthy community activities, Rogers State University production class selected me as a guinea pig to do a television interview, and so it shows how hard up they are for candidates. So. But I'm going to be going up to meet with them on and so it will help that production class. The interview will be broadcast over the northeast Oklahoma viewing area, and we'll talk. I'm sure talk about our facility and our needs, our accomplishments. We're going to fill a case manager position for CHS, and hopefully that will allow us to do better with our CHS resources. And we're down to we're still recruiting for 2 ER positions. We've got 4. We hope to have 6, and so we can avoid having to pay exorbitant amount of money for strategic sourcing contracts. And then the patient education is an area that we're going to be tracking very closely this year, and as it is part of our gift of measures. Any questions?
Any questions?
I just have a comment. Jim, I am thrilled to see under your special projects that's getting underway on the emergency redesign, and that's probably going to be a pretty big undertaking, right?
Well, yeah, but it's not as much as you would think. I think along with the housekeeping project, we're going to go ahead and get a design on it. I want to involve all the providers and the nursing staff, and get a good design, and then then we have to make a decision: do we want to contract out and have that done? And so it'll probably let's say in the neighborhood of $300,000 or $400,000.
That's wonderful. Now, I had inquired before about the extra space where the emergency. I know you were trying to do some arranging at that point in period of time, but this will absolutely take care of all that. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Other questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. Next, we have Hastings Indian Medical Center, with McLemore. Welcome, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Good to be back. Yeah. And this is war. That's so. I mean, thank you.
Ooh, fly today.
Come on. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Always enjoy having a great discussion with elders. Always look at these folks as a valuable resource.
Now Jack Bob talk some more.
That he doesn't have anything else to say. I would point out in the handout, we've got it's a little bit of different format, some more information for your reading at some point down the line when we have a minute. I would point out that the first section is Hastings highlights for fiscal year 06. There are a number of things that we've done that we would like to bring to your attention. And then, of course, we have the monthly newsletter. We did have our powwow and golf tournament or golf match last month. There are a number of items in here that we bring to the attention of our staff at Hastings for their participation. I would point out for the veterans, we provide an annual Veterans Day breakfast on the day that we celebrate or recognize as a holiday for federal employees on Veterans Day, which will be November the 10th. This year, that's on page 5 of the newsletter. There's a notice. We provide a breakfast from 6:30 to 9 to honor veterans from all eras, Vietnam era, whatever era you happen to have been in. The breakfast is free to all veterans and family members. You simply come in at your leisure and have breakfast and visit with fellow veterans. I happen to have served 7.5 years in the U.S. Army, and I always take the opportunity to go visit with my fellow veterans as well on that day. So that'll be November 10th. You're perfectly welcome to attend as well. I know you're a veteran of a lot of services here. And I would say that on page 7, I would bring to your attention that we finally, after years of talking about an expansion which will result in about 7% increase in clinical space, the diabetes podiatry physical therapy unit is finally nearly underway. We have the site management trailer located up at Hastings now. The heavy equipment will be coming in later this week to start groundbreaking or moving dirt and trees. So we should see some further activity over the next few months, and within a year or so we should see that unit up in operation. Right behind the newsletter, you'll see our annual status report of funds, and I would point out to
Speaker Fraley that there is no red ink on this page. You know, we're always concerned about that, and she's very much concerned about maintaining a positive balance, which we agreed to do as management at Hastings, month to month, and then also, of course, at the end of the year. And that results in some hardships at points, because you do have to stay within budget, and that there's a lot of guesswork, because it's a pay-as-you-go type approach that we have to management at Hastings. At the end of fiscal year 06, you'll see at the right-hand column, about 2/3 of the way down, there's a positive balance of $1,037,897. And that's a little too close to the margin for our comfort. Out of about whatever that is, a $52 million, $53 million program, we're seeing just something less than 2% as carryover, and that's not a real good position for us to be in. But we're finding that there are increasing pressures on us, financial, we've got inflation, we've got pay acts, we have decreasing revenues. We lost about $923,000 this year compared to last in Medicare collections. So there are a number of things. And as you go on past that, there's some charts, graphs, that give you some information about that. Now, you'll see the third-party collections and then total collections, two graphs on the one page. I didn't write it page 3, it's from another document. And then page 6, which is the very next page, you'll see a comparison of 2005 data in the middle column to 2006 collection information. And if you go down to the total amount, total billed year to date, I'll just bring this one number to your attention. Fiscal year 05, total billed $47,265,000. Over to the right, that same amount or same category of data, $35,723,000. So we billed about 11.5 million less this year than last. But if you look to the total collected, we only saw a slippage of about $800,000. So our efficiencies in our system are getting better. So we're able to capture those charges better, to the tune of about 80% of billed charges are actually collected. Last year it was about 61% or so. So we're seeing better performance within the system. Cleaner claims are going out, and we're getting essentially more in terms of percentage returned to us as collections. There are some clinic visit numbers over starting about March of 05 through September of 06. This gives you about a year and a half of information. Just shows you the number of patients who have visited these various clinics or services. Internal medicine, the appointment clinic, adult walk-in. That seems to be our most consistent set of numbers. For some reason, people come in large numbers to the adult walk-in clinic. The next one is emergency room, fast track. Emergency room is the blue, and the red is the urgent care or fast track category. Then orthopedics, and then surgery clinic visits. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Mr. Martin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple of questions there. You made a statement, and maybe I didn't get what the same as the rest of the report there, but you made a statement that you lost Medicaid collection. Are you saying that you bill for those that get paid for, or do you get as much as you did the prior year?
We did get as much as we did last year. This year, we lost, there's a discrepancy or disparity between what we collected from Medicare this year compared to last. About, I believe it's $923,000. Yeah. If you look on the next page, that September collections, then you go to that next set of numbers. Year-to-date collections, Medicare, $7.779 million in 2005, and then 6.856 in 2006. So my calculation is that that's $923,000 less we collected from Medicare this year than we did last year. And we don't really know why. We think Nikki Piercy, who is on the Tribal Technical Advisory group of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, in his discussion with Region 6 DHHS leadership back in April in Albuquerque, he brought up the fact, or his point, that the Indian Health Service has seen a total reduction in Medicare reimbursement of about $75 million across the entire Indian Health Service. And so they're examining why that is happening. So we're feeling the effects of that as well. Medicare.
Okay, good. I might fix this. Comparison, third-party collection comparison, a year ago. Up or down?
Last year, if you go down right under that number I just cited to you, right under that, and I know this is, there's a lot of information on this one page, but if you go down to the second section, year-to-date collections, there's a total $29.445 million in 05, 28.61. That's about an $800,000 difference, a drop this year compared to last. And the year before that, it was $30.8 million. So we've seen continued, over the last 2 years, reductions compared to the previous year. But 04 compared to 03, there was a 42% increase, so $22.9 million. In 03 to 04, went up 42% to 30.8, and then we started leveling off. So we're staying up in that 29, 28.6, $29 million range, which is pretty good. It's probably about half of the entire Oklahoma City area office collection.
One more question, Mr. Chairman. I actually do thank you for those two. I know a few months ago, Ed, you mentioned about you were having a problem with your collection from the private insurance. Has that gotten better, or I don't know the numbers here look like you didn't collect as much.
Yeah. We collected about $500,000 in 06 more from private insurance than we did in 05. But what we're seeing is that historically we've had some problems with the coordination of the benefit, or the coordination between us and the payers. Some of the payers, for example, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oklahoma, have had 3 objections to paying us full network charges. One of those objections is that we have a limited eligibility pool or patient population. We limit our eligibility to Indian patients. So Blue Cross Blue Shield says that's discriminatory. The second thing is that we do not require licenses in the state of Oklahoma for all of our providers. For example, commissioned officers come in from any other state. If they're licensed locally in their home state, we accept that license in a federal facility. Blue Cross and Blue Shield says that is not acceptable to their local state plan. The third objection they've had was the insurance, because federal Tort Claims Act covers all of our providers in their official business, providing services. Blue Cross and Blue Shield says that's not acceptable, that they require liability insurance for professional negligence. So we've had those three objections. So that's why we're having difficulty with some of our payers. Now we do get as I said, about 7.9, almost $8 million from private insurance payers. But we think we could be doing a whole lot better than that if we had network agreements and contracts and that sort of thing with them to pay us some sort of amount.
Thank you. Have you changed the way you're billing, or in other words, you said last year it was 61% collection from Medicare. I mean, were you actually doing more work and getting paid less, and this time you're doing less work and getting paid more, or is it how you change your coding and just doing a better job of coding?
Well, I think there are a number of things that have gone into this. We've hired what we call a business process coordinator. And before we had an informal team, a charge master team, who looked at the entire revenue cycle from patient registration to direct deposit into the PNC bank. All of those points of contact all along the way through that entire revenue cycle were managed or coordinated by an informal team. Well, we actually created a position, drew up a position description, and hired an individual to manage that entire or coordinate that entire revenue process. We think that has resulted in some system efficiency. Another thing is the electronic health record. Because the provider no longer has an issue about legibility, about the documentation, we've seen the coding increase by almost a full level across the board for the evaluation and management of coding for those services we provide. And then I think the third thing that we're seeing is that we have, I think, develop the expertise in the system to do a better job, which resulted, I think, in that 18% improvement in our recruitment.
They started to get some complaints again about the emergency room. I mean, they kind of died down and everything. I mean, the last one was there was only one physician. Waiting room is full, kid with a concussion sat there from 9 o'clock at night to 5 o'clock in the morning. Another girl with a broken arm or leg sat till almost the same time. And granddad goes back in, and the doctor says, hey, I'm just one person, and they need to get some help. Yeah. And, I mean, are we running it with just one emergency room physician, and is that enough?
Well, it depends. You always run the risk either of understaffing or overstaffing. Sometimes you have a Maytag repairment situation where there's really not a whole lot going on. So if it were possible to time everything perfectly, we would do exactly that. But what we've done is identify those peak periods, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and double staff. But most of the times,
I think this was the Thursday night
football fight or something. When there was a cheerleader and a football player, and they were both in there.
Buy-in.
I think they played by.
Well, we'll look into that. If we had the dates and if we had the individuals, we could certainly track.
I can tell you granddad's name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can look into that, and I would certainly think that we should do a better job of coordinating our staffing with those two periods. See what we can do about that.
Other questions? Good report, Tim. And by the way, I for one enjoy the short conversation you have with the elders. All up. And wakes us up for lunch.
Like you aren't one.
I am one too. But it's quite refreshing.
Hey, thank you.
I don't see Melissa, so Dr. Chris.
She's on a cruise.
Okay. Well, I didn't know
She
that.
left here with
She's
her.
having fun. But she said she wishes she could be here.
But we have Cherokee Nation Health Services, we got two of them up there.
Everybody got the reports, I hope. Tammy passed them out, so thanks, Tammy. For this month of September, we'll start out talking about Cherokee Health Department. We did better this month. We had 148 procedures and starting to see that trend back up. So we increased our cash by $32,000. We are continuing to work on our PACE center. We have advertised, the center director and medical director have several applicants. We hope to be interviewing within about a month or so for that. I don't know if anybody's had time to drive by 4th Street. You can see that we are constructing and making a little bit of progress. It's always nice to see. We've met with Dr. Clancy in the month of September to talk about the Diabetes Center of Excellence, and hopefully everybody's seen on the news there's going to be three branches. Oklahoma City is going to have two. One's going to be for children, one's going to be for adults, and then there's going to be a separate Diabetes Center of Excellence in Tulsa. So we've been working with them on the center and what's going to happen in it and how it's going to be able to work with the tribe in this area to be mutually beneficial. And then also there was a meeting with Insurance Commissioner Holland on September 22nd at Tucson. Unfortunately, I was in the hospital, so I didn't attend, so don't have much detail about that, but other than it went well, so I don't have any detail on that. Privacy and compliance, we are still continuing to image records. We've imaged over 200,000 records in the month of September, which is what we're averaging pretty much every month. Getting closer to the end of that. We were also awarded a long-term care grant by Indian Health Service, and that's going to be to look at just a feasibility grant to look at what we can do in our area for long-term care. We have PACE going on, but what can we do for people who aren't eligible for PACE? That's kind of where that grant comes in. We've had 25 additional classroom computers added to support the medical coding training at Population Job Corps, and so that makes a total of 40 computers that we've been able to add through the SBC coding training to that program. Construction projects, no wire, the site development is 95% complete. Footings and slab are complete. Steel erection is complete. Slab utilities are 100%. Metal stud framing exterior walls complete. Exterior sheathing in place. Site utilities 95% complete. Site paving 95% complete. Steel deck complete. The lighting protection is complete. And interior wall framing is in progress. Looking ahead, we hope to get the light pole bases completed in the next 30 days. The electrical conduits and boxes complete, and the metal roofing started. And so far, it's on time and on budget. Redbird Smith Health Center, annex site's complete, footing and slab complete, site paving at 85% complete, utilities 95% complete, and steel erection is complete. Brickwork's about 75% complete. Looking ahead, we hope to have the framing all completed within the next 30 days. The walkway area for the future drive-through place and the metal roof complete. And starting on drywall. So it's actually coming along very well. No problems there. The Scobie Clinic, hopefully you guys have gotten a chance to drive through there. That one's looking good. We've got the steel erection started. It is on track, and I asked Sean yesterday to actually do a bit under budget for that one. So we're doing well with that. Other things we've been working on with Hastings is the master plan. We've been continuing to meet with them on a monthly basis. Finished up the scope of services document and going to put the information into the IHS plan document for future reference. Shane Warren, who worked with us, who's an architect student, has been working on the Burchett property master plan, and we're going to attend a meeting with him later in the month. And then Halifax City Hospital, there's analysis underway by CNB to do several business opportunities with Halifax City Hospital, and so we're just basically waiting to see what CNB says about this. Recruitment efforts, we have a new physical therapist who's going to start in October at Stillwell, Bryson Harris, and we're very excited to have him. Cindy Carter, who is a physical therapist at Hastings, has offered, he will have a temporary license, and so she's been willing to proctor him for his physical license, and so we appreciate that. And send her something. It was physical therapy month, so if you see a physical therapist, might tell him happy physical therapy month. There are going to be 2 positions for Jay. Right now we have one. I think there's actually going to start in January, so we're really excited about that. And then we've interviewed a couple of other new positions from the Scobie Health Center. Our diabetes program, we submitted an application for program recognition for a diabetes self-management education in Scobie. They have 12 weeks to respond, but all of our other clinics have gotten in front of this, so there should not be any problem with Scobie. Our diabetes project that we have started here at the complex, our diabetes prevention program, has trained 56 people at Rocky Mountain School, and 28 were eligible to move on to the next phase of that program. On September 29th, we had Cherokee Nation on the Move Day. We had 25 participants. We are really beginning to put a focus that we'll talk about more in the next several months on prevention activities.
Dr. Chairman, I had a question for Shelley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's not really a question, well, maybe. You talked about the diabetes program and self-management. How could the gastric binding or the bariatric surgery, I guess it's kind of benefit people who are diabetic? Are there some typical benefits to it? I mean,
There are.
I know that not 100% of anything is
right. And there's been a lot of people with diabetes who've gotten gastric bypass, and what you see is as they, they're type 2 diabetic, as they lose weight, their diabetes is under control. And if they can get back down to closer to a normal body weight, ideal body weight, a lot of times they're able to go off their insulin, go off uniform medication, and just controlled by diet and exercise. Audra, can you talk about your mom? Is that basic confidentiality? We have permission.
She's not your patient.
She's not my patient.
One of the things that
But we've seen, and I think anybody that knows about your mom, her lifestyle, therefore, and she's just been, looks great.
Totally off of her diabetes medication. She's, doing better.
Healthy,
She's
bouncing around.
functioning better. She's a better employee. All of those things.
And she looks really good.
Well, here's one of the issues that we have, and I think that all of the councilmen have received an email from a lady that is a Cherokee Nation employee, and our Cherokee Nation employee insurance does not cover this type of surgery. But housing authority employees, their insurance will cover it, and so will Hastings employees, they can use that surgery. But our employees can't. So if it's a beneficial procedure in the way of diabetes prevention or would eliminate some health problems that we are going to have to treat somewhere down the line. I don't understand why we would allow our employees to have that option.
We've actually looked at it, something we're talking about, and not to speak out of turn, and I think Michael can tell us about this, but we're going to rebid our insurance in January, which is not a secret. And Cherokee Nation is going to rebid their insurance with CNE, CNI, and we're all going to bid together in one larger group, so we'll get one hopefully better rates, and we'll be more insured lives. So I think at that point, that will be one of the issues that comes up. For a company, when you look at doing gastric bypass, it takes about, you hate to put dollar amount on it, it takes about 36 months for an entity to recover the cost of an uncomplicated bariatric surgery. So if I were to get gastric bypass today, as long as I stay working at Cherokee Nation for years, Cherokee Nation as an entity is going to recoup that cost for me as an employee, because I'm going to be on less medications, have less health problems. So, 36, 37 months, they're going to actually recoup that money. It's if they start having if as an employee I start having complications, then that can, one bad case can really jump up the cost. But I know that's something that's going to be looked at with the rebidding process that starts in January, where there'll be an RFP that goes out. The other thing internally for health that we're doing is we're looking at, we've actually drafted an SPC proposal to send to the Ticket Budget Committee on doing gastric bypass for private citizens. And we've met with Dr. Gorosky and Dr. Kirk, who do the majority of the surgeries in Tulsa out of Southcrest. Dr. Gorosky's been doing now for 15 years. He started back when they were very first. He's done thousands and thousands, has very low complication rates with this patient. So we've actually met with them, and we're writing a proposal to the Center for Strategic Budgeting Committee. Right now, what we're struggling with is, one, we're talking to them about cost, and we get like a reduced rate, and then two, our criteria and how we're going to send it to the SBC, so that if we can't do everybody that would qualify, we're going to put some kind of selection criteria. So we're working on that. That'll actually probably go to SBC. We're not meeting with them again until November with Dr. Kirk and Dr. Roche. So probably about the first of the year, we'll probably try to get a proposal into the SBC, and then if it goes to SBC, it'll come through the law and section finance.
Well, I think that for myself, I think that I can see the benefits for the patient in doing something like that, and I would be supportive.
And the other good thing with Dr. Gillespie is it's not just the surgery. He has a really good program that we're doing with the free surgery counseling to make sure you're meeting with the behavioral therapist to make sure you're ready to make some of the changes that are necessary, and talk to your dietitian. And then the one thing they've got going really well at Hicks is they've got a support group that meets so they can have regular support from people who have gone through it. They can maintain all those behavioral changes and exercise and help them.
One of the things, I know it is a change in the way of life and the lifestyle, but for those people who, do nothing but benefit, I think it's a shame that they don't have that option right now, because, in a year, their condition can be so much worse by this way. If that's the only way that they can be successful, then I think we need to, really be worth our investment.
So I know that's something that Mark was looking at too, smart teaching. So that will be a big issue when we're getting anywhere. It's seeing grandma will have to be the same. So it's seeing that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The research that I've read about does, I'm glad to hear that you're including behavioral changes, because physiologically, I guess the body does not respond. Like, it's all great, we can cut the stomach in half or whatever, and everybody loses weight, but unless you're better diet, exercise, you gain no benefits from heart attacks, diabetes, or anything else, because your body as a system doesn't respond because you externally. Right.
Strike out bullying.
And I guess the specific email that's being discussed was not gastric bypass, it's the gut banding. But I did go to Mr. Patello and do that and ask questions because we were self-insured. We can't change it at this time because we would be liable for anybody else that had requested it for them to go back. But I answered the lady's question and she was able to go back. There's something else she can request to have potential recourse, but that's like that for me to do. So, yeah, I don't think we've done anything to rebid.
Not through our insurance system. We would have to change the same document in some way to
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And is this anything that would work under the back to work program or anything like that?
We've talked about that, and we want to actually make it a separate program, for lack of a better word, just because it's going to be $20,000 deposit, we really need that money, and it's going to be hard. We're going to have to really strict selection criteria on it, so if you lump it into back to work, it's going to be, it would just take back to work down.
Graham, come on, bro. You've been up there a while. Are you okay?
Okay. My leg will start wobbling.
Just a comment. I signed up, the insurance sent you a little prevention thing that they do, and I signed up for it. And there's a lot of good material that they sent you for preventing these things or help you with the problems that you have. And of course, they told me I didn't provide enough information to do a real analysis on me, but I think it's a good, thing.
I'm glad to hear that. I had quite a few employees that actually complained about that. Aren't happy with the disease management part of it. I don't know if it's because it's time consuming or whatever. And I think the response that I had to that is, nobody likes to tell me what to do, but employees claimed, and rightly so, about our increase in premium. But the way that we decrease premium is premium the same, so we have to have healthy employees, so they have to have a commitment to get healthier.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Dr.
Okay. We got notification that JDC received another full 3-year accreditation from the state, so we're very pleased with that. We sent several people up to the IHS Gifford annual meeting, and the Gifford is where we look at clinical health indicators, and I think there's 32. It's like 33 or 33 clinical indicators. And Cherokee Nation clinics actually received 8 separate awards for meeting or exceeding national goals for the Gifford indicators, and so we're really happy and very honored to get that, showing that we're doing and providing quality care. Bartlesville is now offering prenatal care, and the meeting will begin in October. So if you all have people up in that area, the pregnant or going to become pregnant, send them to Bartlesville, and we'll be happy to take care of them. At Redbird Smith, we have 2 RN vacancies that we're actively recruiting for, so if anybody knows anybody up in the Sallisaw area nursing, send them our way. Day Clinic, we just finished the remodeling diabetes program area. It's given us a lot more space. I talked to diabetes staff, and they said it's working much better, they're able to see more patients, and they're very happy with that. Our community health activities, our WINGS program, had the Cherokee Holiday Run with 274 participants, the Fit for Life 5K Run with 145 participants, and the WINGS Expo with 72 participants. We also did the family camp at Hardin Hills with 60 participants. Community health nursing at Claremore had 47 home visits, and at Hastings 79 home visits. EMS had a total of 288 calls, and 69 of those were from Oaks, so Oaks has been rather busy lately. At Jack Brown, we have 17 students right now, 11 male, 5 female. And behavioral health staff saw 3,711 patients, so they've been very busy. If you look at our workload activity for the month, we had 23,000 patient visits and 1,928 visits. Right now, for vacancies, we have several provider vacancies. We have 2 a day, but we actually now have somebody selected for one of those to start in January. Our physical therapist, as I mentioned earlier, will be starting in Stillwell at the end of the month. Salina, we have a pediatrician that resigned. The effective date is October 27th. Right now, what we're going to do with that is we have 2 full-time pediatricians at Muskogee who haven't reached capacity, so we're going to send one of those part-time over to Salina to fill in. So we shouldn't see any problems with that. With our contract health, for the month of September, we had 2,129 referrals for a total cost of almost $1.4 million. And things that we have up and coming on November the 17th at 11 o'clock, 11:30. We're going to have our Thanksgiving dinner in the Lord's house. And I'd like to invite everybody there. And it'll have some healthy stuff. I can't promise it'll be completely healthy, but it will be some healthy things there. At least a turkey. So we've got that going. For our revenue report for the month, our actuals through September 30th, we are at $12,874,000, which is just a little bit over what we had expected to collect. So we're right on track, and we hope to in 07 we'll get about 13.5. So our revenues continue to increase every year. We've had no problems. The other thing you'll have in the packet is JC's report on legislation, and I'll just let you all read over that. That's all I have. Anybody have any questions?
Any questions? Thank you for a very good report.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all the reports on the new business.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I apologize for being out of the room. Mr. Cousins was talking about shifting contract health. With that in mind, I hope the committee will entertain a motion for this committee to send a letter to the area director stating our concern about shifting contract health responsibility to Claremore away from Miami without any additional recurring dollars for employees to handle this increased load at Claremore. So if there are no objections, I would like to make that motion and let it be drafted and signed by the health chair and sent on.
Second.
A motion, second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. No old business, any announcements? The only thing I see is our next scheduled meeting, November 14th at 1 p.m. I will entertain a motion.
Second.
That is a Head Start, isn't it? It's at the Head Start building, actually. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.